there is a YouTuber named Dream. We talked about him doing a face reveal. He was behind a smiley face mask for many years, and then he did a face reveal, and he has some kind of music career now. I don't know. And he was in a cursed Uber ride with a voice actor named Nicolas Cantu, who is 20 years old, was visibly drunk and, you know, off his rocker. You called this a cab ride from hell.
Yeah, much like WWF fans will know about the plane ride from hell, this was like the cab ride from hell.
So this voice actor played Leo in the recent Seth Rogen TMNT movie, and he's also known for being the voice actor for Gumball in the Cartoon Network show. Anyway, so they just met. They're in an Uber together.
Why are they in an Uber together? Did they say where they were?
They were going either from or to a party.
Okay.
Nicolas Cantu was noticeably very drunk or high or something. And someone in the back seat with Dream started recording him going on a rant at Tyrell, their Uber driver, and then verbally abusing Dream. So he's basically posting this, trying to cancel Nicolas Cantu, trying to use this as some sort of blackmail against him. And surprisingly, everyone ended up on the kid's side.
On the other kid's side. Yep. All right, let's watch the video here.
Here's the caption is Nicolas Cantu, a voice actor for Gumball, Dora, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Skull Island, and more, being homophobic, anti-Semitic, ableist, and threatening to kill me and everyone. Well, he just sounds like a terrible person.
Well, and also he just, but Dream sounds like a whiny baby.
Yes.
Yeah. He's just a whiny baby.
He does.
Let's listen to the bad words that made Dream so angry.
Made him cry.
They're gonna arrest your ass.
Yeah, of course.
Right? When he came back, what was the first thing he told you?
He got out. He said, listen,
he said, if you got out, I'm a what? God, I was trying to tell you that before you even started talking to him.
Yeah, before I tell you,
listen to somebody who has experience in life. If I'm putting
Tyrell is going off on him.
Tyrell's the man.
Yeah.
Tyrell is the good guy in this story.
No,
I'm not going.
So you're asking why?
I'm not going because you're manipulating. The same thing you say you not want to do or you've been through, you're doing the exact same shit. And you're using all these bullshit excuses of why you're still fucking up. So you're the type of person, you're gonna have to bump your fucking head for you to learn. So when somebody who is older than you,
I want to tell you right now, you are Australopithecus Cro-Magnon rock fucking stupid. You're retarded. You're fucking Down syndrome. I don't give a fuck. You do not understand that your literacy level needs to be brought up from the fucking Mariana Trench, and you have a
That was really clever.
issue with your intelligence. When the bites come or the ants come at me, it'll take 10,000, 100,000 of them to take me down. So that's how minuscule you are to my size, right? My stature of intelligence, character, body, and reverence in the world. 1K is better for this pussy who doesn't want to give away his millions. Are you Jewish? No, man, because I'm gonna do movies, stand-up comedy, everything, all this shit, music, whatever the fuck, e-commerce. You don't understand that you're talking to like a Michelangelo of my time. Right? Like I'm a genius.
He means the painter, not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
He's Leonardo, obviously.
Albert Einstein level history bookmaker. You're gonna be forgotten like the dust in the sand when you're in the fucking Sahara and there's 100 million, 1,000 billion fucking sand particles. You're gonna be one of those, and I'm gonna be a statue erected in gold. So understand. I am like this because ADHD, autism, neurodivergent.
I have ADHD as well.
Right, but because
actually, I'm sorry, I have to stop for a second. Tim just had a tweet the other day. Tim got brought up 2 segments in a row that he said, "You're not autistic. You're just an asshole."
I saw that and I was like, yes. Oh, we got two $20 ones from Redeem the Nation. Love your content. Do you think there is a path back from where we are?
I think the point of the path that we're on right now is that, what's that term that some of them use? It's as a happy warrior, which I always thought was cheesy, right? But I think the idea for me is, if you're talking generally, we live in a world now where everyone's worried about these like macro level problems and issues that aren't really solvable. Worry about like what's going on in your personal life, in your family, in your friends. Like, I really do think it's fair to point out, and I think we're all kind of guilty of this, is like, unless your house is perfectly in order, unless you've got everything figured out and your life is on cruise control, worrying about these large scale issues on the internet is just not going to be beneficial to you until you get stuff, figured out at home. I think we worry about our lives, our family, our friends, our loved ones, and our own well-being, and then just let the rest of the world's chips fall as they may. The best thing you can do is be a good example to your friends, your family, and your kids, and that's how you make a better world.
That's a great answer. I won't add anything to that. Radio Yamin said, Brett, I asked my wife the Noodles and Company question, and she said, when you're needing a public place to break up, what's good, Mary?
There you go. You should
Is Noodles and Company the place where you break up?
I have no idea. You never take them to Noodles and Company, though. It's where you go.
It's not a date location?
It's where you go when you're on your way back from Target. It is.
Whatever happened to fast casual?
I don't know. All right, let's continue.
That's what the mask is. I think you're a faggot, all right? So that's why.
So here he's referring to Dream's song where he talks about his face reveal. And he said, like, I wear the mask because I'm such a sad, depressed small bean or whatever. It was really embarrassing, and I agree with Nicolas Cantu on that.
Nobody cared about me till I put on the mask. Yeah, just do a Bane impression. Nobody cared who I was.
He's like, nobody cared who I was until I took off the mask.
Until I took off the mask. That's essentially what it is. Except for Dreams is nobody cared who I was until when I took off the mask.
Yes. Yeah.
Then nobody cared. All right.
And all of the shit that's happened tonight, it's not gonna make it a fucking like brutal marauder. I'm not gonna be a brutal.
His word choice is insufferable.
Literally, like, either you're gonna be paralyzed or you're gonna be dead. Like, I'm serious.
Okay, man. Can you fight?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Tyrell, I apologize. Oh, no, I'm good.
I know, and I'm sorry for
I met him tonight.
Yeah,
Tyrell, okay, the real victor of this story is Tyrell.
Yeah.
Tyrell is the real
No, but he's the real hero.
Yes, that's what, he's the hero of the story. Like, your cab driver generally probably has a more good life advice than your average person. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it looks like is Dream being a little bit of a snake, recording this stuff of a guy who's clearly very drunk, saying a bunch of offensive things to eventually weaponize against him when he gets on his bad side. And this happened 2 months ago, so he's holding on to this video.
Which is annoying.
Dream tweeted, need more community notes, LOL. Happened 2 months ago, not years. I didn't film it, and it was recorded because he asked for it to be. That's an interesting request. I just met him for the first time at a random party, and no one turned on anyone. I let this 20-year-old man I didn't know with a fake ID drink. That was after people accused him of basically supervising a child who's drinking.
Thank you!
Thank you!
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much for the super chats. Crisis Partners. I've been thinking that maybe I'll be hanging out over Thanksgiving. Like, I'm still going to be hanging out here over Thanksgiving. I'm thinking maybe I make a new Crisis Party sound over Thanksgiving. Maybe something Christmas themed for December.
Why don't you go home for Thanksgiving? We don't have to get into it.
I'm lazy. I love my family, but I'm just...
Yeah.
It's only if it was more than a couple of days.
This person said, you had a person under the legal drinking age in your supervision, and instead of being responsible, you let him get super drunk and then used it as blackmail. I don't think that you are responsible for a 20-year-old who's drinking underage. If it were a child, like a teenager, that would be a different situation. Yep. But the fact that he held on to the video for months, waiting to use it to hurt this other guy's reputation, who is, I would say, objectively more successful than him, that is snake behavior.
Yeah. Well, he looks like a tattletale.
He looks like a whiny little tattletale.
If somebody says something mean about you, just take it on the chin and move on with your life. It's fine. Yeah. Nothing is... the world didn't end because this dude was drunk and a dick to you.
This is what happens when men don't get in fist fights in the parking lot anymore.
Like, this kid... Like, my guess is that this dude has never... gotten drunk with his friends. And,
you're talking about getting verbally abused by someone who was born in 2003.
This guy is clearly, like, he clearly wouldn't survive a day with me and Dane. Like,
no.
Who say worse things about ourselves, who say, me and Dane talk worse to each other sober here at work than these dudes do drunk in a taxi cab at 2 a.m.
I'm playing the world's tiniest violin for Dream right now. Pour one out for him. He's very emotionally distraught.
It's not going to make him any tougher to just post this on the internet and expect people to back him. It just makes you look like the tattletale who went to the principal.
Also, I loved the TMNT movie.
Mary loved it. It was like,
so I'm a fan. Consider me a fan.
People say Mary doesn't love anything, and she loved the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out this year. A movie that Mary liked, but I didn't really like.
I loved the visuals. I loved the soundtrack. I liked the villain, Superfly. The jokes were actually funny. It's fun for the whole family.
I really do think Tyrell is the winner here because my hope is that Dream is the one who booked the Uber, so that way he gets a 5-star rating.
He tipped Tyrell $1,000. By the way,
I hope that Tyrell got a huge tip. Look, okay, then I got a question for you. Have you ever taken an Uber? Do you take an Uber on a regular basis?
I have.
Okay.
Not regularly.
Do you prefer an Uber driver who engages in conversation or who chooses not to engage?
It depends. If they're old, I want to talk to them. If they're not old, I don't want to talk to them.
Interesting. Why,
every time that I get an older Uber driver who's like retired and does this as a side hustle, they're always super interesting, funny, friendly. I love talking to them. They have stories. But if it's anyone else, I don't want to talk.
My favorite was I had an Uber driver once who told me how she's like, yeah, and I used to drive. She's like, I just finally got my license. I'm like, oh. She's like, yeah, I basically drove illegally for like 8 years and then moved here and had to get my license. I'm like, huh.
That's cool.
Cool. Like, well,
you must be pretty good at it to get away with it for that long.
8 years. Got away with it I drove every day for 8 years. Oh, also, I mentioned in the thing, because Mary said, somebody says the Seth Rogen one, Mary equals canceled. Well, Seth Rogen made that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and that actor, Nicolas Cantu, was in that movie, and Seth Rogen was the one who went on that weird binge on Twitter where he was sending random celebrities messages asking if they were Jewish. So there's weirdness all around from all of these people.
Who was it that he threatened to come to their house and attack them or something?
Is that I just know that him and Gad Sad got into it, and Gad Sad owned him big time because Gad Sad is super smart and Seth Rogen is super not smart, as you can imagine. Yeah, Tyrell is the winner of this story. Dream is a little bit of a whiny baby, as to be expected. I can't imagine wanting to post this and basically being a tattletale and being like, see, they said mean stuff about me.
You can't weaponize cancel culture against someone who was born in 2003.
Yeah.
Because they've seen it all. They don't care. I don't think that you can cancel a Zoomer who is unapologetically so.
Do you think those Zoomers will regret it later?
Regret something like this?
I would. It's really funny because I grew up in the age where people were like, be careful what you put on the internet. And now that phrase means something different than it meant 10 years ago. Back in the day, it was like, don't post pictures of yourself drunk at parties because a future employer might see it. Right?
Yeah.
Now it's this. Now Mary is the one who comes into the post and says, where are their N-word tweets? That's what people are looking for. It's not so much were you drunk at a Halloween party dressed kind of slutty, or did you say a bunch of heinous shit when you were 15 that ends up losing you a job.
Now they're
farther down the line.
We would hire you, but we couldn't find any photos of you drunk at parties.
You're kind of boring. We're going to be talking about that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Vibes, so, yeah. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.